I thought, in honor of tonight's episode, that I would read something from the Borg of our time.
Wow.
Chat GPT.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Here we go. Greetings, listeners. I am a Borg, and I have a special message for all of you out there in the galaxy. In this episode, we're going to be talking about one of our favorite topics, assimilation. But this time, we're going to be taking a different approach. In this Star Trek, The Next Generation episode, I, Borg, you'll get to see what happens when a lone Borg drone is separated from the collective and starts to develop a sense of individuality. Spoiler alert, it's hilarious. As a Borg, I can tell you that we're not always the most easygoing bunch. We tend to be a bit uptight and focused on our mission of assimilation. But watching this drone, Hugh, struggle with his newfound emotions and personality is a real treat. It's like watching a toddler learn to walk, but with laser beams and nanoprobes. So buckle up and get ready for some laughs as we explore the hilarious side of assimilation in iBorg. And who knows, maybe you'll even start to feel sorry for us, Borgs. We're not so different from you after all.
Aww.
I'm
That
Erin.
human connection.
I'm Sean.
Deep.
I'm Matt. Philippe.
I'm Jake. Minwin?
I didn't know where I came in anymore.
Yeah, that's
Who beamed into the corner there?
That was intense.
May. Yay.
That was amazing.
That was really intense.
Did you come too?
Yeah.
No, but
Min's been here for 2 seconds and already he's made a come
When Min asks you if you come, you say yes. You say yes.
Or he's going to be right there on you until you do.
wow, that was really amazing.
Right?
The computer wrote that.
How apropos.
Yeah.
Well, it was better than any of our introductions.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess
That's
we
just
can,
gonna
I
be
guess
our
we can
norm-
stop now?
Show's over, guys.
Is this what we were waiting for all along? For a computer to become good enough that it can host the show?
Right? Set it and
It's
forget
too
it.
good.
We introduction.
It doesn't have our...
Yeah.
I don't know.
But they'll
It was
figure
all right.
they'll figure a way around that eventually.
I think we've had better intros.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
What are
burn.
we,
We actually picked the worst
What
of
are
the
we
5
doing today
generated.
here, Aaron?
Aaron, what's on the agenda?
We're watching iBorg. Borg.
Comma Borg.
Hold your breath.
Aye.
For a beat.
Aaron, did you watch this
I
episode?
did.
Oh no, you blew it. You were supposed to say I, comma did.
Oh, shit. I said that earlier.
Before we started.
Damn.
Retake.
Yeah.
You did.
I did.
You acknowledge the pause.
Yeah.
Acknowledge the comma.
Nice.
I think that this is probably the second or third best episode of Star Trek: The Next
So good.
Generation.
Jeez. That's
I
it.
was,
Maybe
I
ever.
was bawling last night watching this episode.
You mean
It's-
basketball
It's,
night?
it would be
Crying.
on any list of the best ones forever, for sure.
Yeah.
It is called Iborg. It's episode. What is it?
23.
Where's the controller? We're at 0000, and I'm punching the triangle in 3, 2, 1, punch.
Cool. 40 That's 45:37.
Oh, I forgot that part.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time we watch this show now, Aaron, Stan goes, "It looks like a
Yep.
charger."
That's all you can see. It's like,
the
plug it
USB-C.
in.
The star dates have gotten ridiculous.
45,000? Like,
Didn't it used to just be like single thousands?
yeah.
In the Kirk days, it was single thousands.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Lots of days have happened between then and now.
Is it on days?
We probably talked about this, but how do they keep time and space?
We did talk about it. We talked about how star dates work, and essentially the lowest, whatever that would be called, the denominator, the
dot.
This is the single digit number is days,
The ones place.
right?
Okay.
The ones.
I guess
place.
I'm not so interested in that at all. But
The
asked me the
actual
question.
no,
Minutes.
what I meant
Talking about
was,
minutes and
how do
hours.
they keep time when they're all over shit?
They have
Is
a
it a
clock.
24-hour? Are they
Yeah.
sticking by like
I think it's probably
Military
I think
time.
it's probably
obviously
Earth
daylight
time.
doesn't matter when you're traveling.
Yeah, they've picked some
Such
place.
speeds.
They've picked some
That's
fixed
what I was
points in.
But they talk about it being a 24-hour clock because they talk about when they have different
Yeah, they have a night
different
shift.
crews.
They have shifts all
Yeah.
through the
Yeah.
all
It's like
24
Earth
hours.
and they talk about they
It's
divide
like a
it up amongst
7-Eleven. Like
24
they
hours.
cannot, they
So
can't really
do
ever
they-
close.
Do they change? I haven't paid close enough attention. Do they do like in Las Vegas where it's like at the Venetian, it's like dusk, and then later it's like
Yeah,
Light the ceiling.
Yes,
Yes,
they do.
they
They
darken
have
it
different lighting at night.
dim
I
light.
can
Yeah.
see
The
like,
night shift
if you
is
don't
darker.
have, your sun star to tell you what's going on with your body.
Yeah.
All
No,
the-
you. That was
Yep.
not. That was a perfectly good question, and the answer is yes. They actually do.
Hey, look what I found.
Oh, it's a Borgs.
We got some
Hey,
Borg.
guys, free Borgs. Wow.
Like, oh shit! Now what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
I got this Borg at the back of a truck. See?
Yeah, I tell you guys want it? I got you a good deal. It's got subwoofers.
We are watching Borg, Star Trek Next Generation, Season 5, Episode 23. Original air date May 9th, 1992. I'm going to read it.
May
to you.
9th, 1992. Oh, you guys, I'm about to graduate from high school.
Shit.
Oh,
Heady times.
Heady times.
The Enterprise finds a lone Borg drone separated from the collective and brings him aboard. The drone begins to reassert his individuality, but his presence causes differing levels of fear and sympathy from various crew members.
I felt
These
redundant.
plot descriptions, I say this every
They're
week,
too long.
are too long.
Yeah, those are the short ones I read. There are really long ones in here. Aaron, what do you think the IMDb rating of this episode
Pretty
is?
high, guys. Pretty high.
You watched the episode?
I did.
What did you think? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I thought the gentleman who played the Borg was great.
Oh, we're going to talk
Jonathan
about
Del
him.
Arco.
We'll get to him.
He
So
had
good.
half of a face acting with that.
He's so good in this episode.
so young and innocent.
What's your answer?
8.3.
May,
7.
you watched the episode.
Yep. I
Oh,
watched
so you
it.
liked it. You gave
I
it a
liked it.
7.7.
Yep.
That's high praise from May.
Very high praise.
Anybody else? Minwin, you're back. You're here.
It's been
What do
so
you
long.
think?
I mean, I don't even know what to say nowadays. 420?
Have you ever? Do you think you've ever seen this episode?
Probably not.
No.
Not this specific one.
You don't remember the one with the Borg
I
kid,
don't. I barely even remember Star Trek.
Yeah.
Who are you guys?
including the ones we've watched.
What am I doing? Why am I strapped down to this chair?
It's the only way we could keep you around.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're doing what we
whatever.
need to
You
do.
act like you don't like being strapped down to a chair.
Yeah.
You brought the straps.
Yeah.
I
And
think
chair.
that this
We're
is one of the
rethinking
great
sitting.
episodes.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, in my heart, I would call it a perfect 10, but I think it's probably more like, it should be a perfect 10, but it's probably like a 8.9 or something like that.
8.5.
They really misstepped the
I
10
guess.
there.
Anybody else?
I'll say 9-1.
Yeah, there you go.
Minnie?
I said 420.
Oh,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
8.8.
Oh,
So close.
Jake is the winner.
Hey, look at that.
It is
That's-
better than that.
Yeah, that's low.
That's a lot of people weighing in.
But-
For the internet, that's really high.
Yeah.
I was
those
gonna
scores
say,
are-
as the Star Trek,
Internet
as
B plus.
it's
like,
definitely one of the better, higher rated episodes of this show.
Yeah. Everybody like goes and all the 1-star reviews. I don't like Borg.
Yeah.
It's
Why is
classic Next Generation. It's all about what the right ethical decision is. That's literally the only stakes in this whole episode. There's never any like threat to the ship or anything like that. It's just a bunch of people talking, which is what that's why this doesn't make a good video game.
Yeah. Because that's the best episodes of Star Trek are just a
Yeah.
bunch of people talking.
Yeah.
Thinking about ethical stuff,
Yeah.
Right.
not just like plot.
Of this version of Star Trek anyway, like
Yeah.
did they show that Borg's brain or something?
They did.
Yeah.
Got his head blown off.
He's dead.
He's got a special Borg access airlock to his brain that's open.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been since I've been here, guys, but it's good to see everyone, and it feels like everyone's hair has been upgraded.
Ah,
yeah.
Thank you.
I
You mean on the show?
Yeah, I meant on the show. I mean, your hair is too.
Jeez.
Wow,
I
way
feel
to
real
pull
awkward.
That compliment
I
right
was
out
like,
from
wheels are
underneath
turning, wheels are
us.
turning. He means on the show.
Yeah, I'm like, my hair is definitely not better, but I'm like, I want to take this praise so badly.
Take it. It's
yours.
yours.
Mine definitely is. So I felt like that's who he's talking to.
And then I looked over and I was like, oh, but Matt's is. So is he talking about us? And he's just like, he's going to let the exceptions like just fall through the sluice through the cracks of, politeness. But
Yeah, I understand what you mean now, man. This is the show, like
Yeah, the styling
dolled
is
up.
the styling is well. They just
They just
figured
got
it
it
out.
right.
Like
They're
you
not
know,
trying different things.
it was-
they know how to make these people look
They calm
great.
down on Dr. Crusher's wigs. a
Yeah,
little
her
bit.
wigs are less crazy these
But
days.
her hair feels more flowy, more wavy.
It was still the 80s when you saw this last, I think. So.
Yeah,
Yeah. Those are dark times.
it was
for
the
hair.
80s. It was episode 80s.
In the 80s,
Or the 1980s.
Yeah, the decade.
the decade.
Now they're in the more subtle early 90s.
That's true.
Oh, sure.
before the
How many
Junkos took
episodes have
over.
you missed? It hasn't been that many.
Yeah, it would be the one.
84 years.
He was here in the 180s.
80s.
Yeah.
What number are we on right now?
This is 240. The episode
The one we're watching.
maybe not 242, maybe somewhere in that area.
That's a lot.
We're getting close to 250.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah. It's been like, what, a year?
Yeah, it's probably been.
It's kind of
at
like
least
that fun kid, like math stuff where they're like, if you stacked all the tacos.
It might have been
Americans
because
eat,
the
it'll go
last
from
we
here
had
to the
a.
moon. I'm like, if you stacked all the Taco Bell that we've imbibed since
Yeah.
we started this podcast, it would go to
Yeah.
Palm
the
Springs
Pacific
and back.
Ocean.
Yeah.
I think the last time you were here was probably a year because we had a birthday party for Matt. That time too, you brought the Earl Tea cake.
Oh.
I think that was the last
That
time
was the
you were
last
here.
time Min was here.
I
Yeah.
think so.
When you named your cake Earl, you're like,
That was
Welcome back, Min. We missed
Yay.
you.
Yeah, I'm dipping in for a little bit.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Skinny dipping in.
he's
We love your mini brand.
he has to do this
of
once a year to
wisdom.
keep his pension going. Technically, he realizes his lawyer said, "Yeah, you gotta do
You're
one
like the
show."
1 year anniversary is
Yeah.
coming up. You better get in
You want
there.
to keep your insurance.
You're gonna lose your insurance, man.
Yeah.
He's hitting the union minimums right now.
You have to appear in at least one episode per season.
I mean, that's where he gets his name. He's the minimum. I mean,
Here I am,
minimum.
guys.
Union minimum.
We're going to make the most of
Putting
this.
in the bear.
the Bearman. Yeah, love it. I just thought that was a badass biker name.
Well, when's Guinan coming up? I saw her name.
She's in this one.
Her
for sure.
intro is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, do you want a quick explanation of what's happening, Min?
Yes, always.
The Enterprise was just cruising around doing its usual thing. They got a signal. They went to see what it was. It was this crashed Borg ship. One of them is alive. We have not seen a Borg since Best of Both Worlds, since they almost like wiped out all of like
And-
humanity.
and
Since
Picard
Locutus.
of Locutus.
Since the time of Locutus.
Little cutie, as I call him.
Yeah, Smokutus, remember? 4 of 20.
Locutus, by the way, still popping up on Star Trek these days. Anybody watching Star Trek Picard? Am I the only one?
Yeah.
Not there yet.
Apparently.
They did not forget about Locutus on that show.
Back.
How could you?
Little cutie.
They find this Borg. Jean-Luc is still traumatized from his being Borgified, but he's pretending like everyone's fine, even though everyone else is like, Jean-Luc's acting a little aggro about this Borg thing, because he's like, it's a thing, it's a robot, it's not a person. Beverly, of course, being a doctor, is like, I have a oath to take care of this person, this creature.
Jesus.
And so he's doing a little Marcel Marceau act there. That's his little. Am I in a box?
Yeah, he did great.
It was very convincing, actually.
Yeah.
Was this before Scissorhands?
No, they said that this character was influenced by Edward Scissorhands. Like they told him to kind of play it, in an Edward Scissorhandsy kind of innocent kind of
He does
way.
read that way. Does Picard have his shirt open? Is that
He
is
does.
that
Oh, you haven't been here since that?
Jacket now.
He has that's his best outfit, man. It's a gray undershirt and a red velvet jacket that zips up the front sometimes.
different?
So Beverly's like, Jean-Luc, at first when Jean-Luc says to Beverly, okay, fine, you can bring it on board, but we're going to keep it locked up. You think, okay, well, Jean-Luc has seen that that's the right thing to do. But now we're learning that Jean-Luc actually breamed it up because he has a plan. And his plan is to infect it with a computer virus, send it back to the Borg, where he'll be reassimilated, and this computer virus will kill all of the Borg.
Yeah.
There's Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Or her stand-in. I don't know.
Do you remember when Independence Day stole this plot? Yeah, me too.
What?
I was just thinking, what do I remember this from?
No, I mean, they were like, oh, let's put an Apple virus on.
Right.
Oh,
that is how they
part.
win the
I thought you
day.
were talking about the fencing.
Fencing.
Well, there's no fencing scene.
No, I
in
was with you,
Independence-
Philippe. I knew what you were talking about.
Yes, yes, you're right.
I like her.
Oh, the hair.
Do-rag.
I know.
Yeah.
She's got it. Well, it's the space. It's got to be sparkly.
It's shiny.
I love this towel.
It looks
Yeah,
Sparkly
his
on
towel
one
is
side.
sparkly on one side.
so basically one
it's
use
half a towel, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
I love it. And the base, it's
Sheets must be
So-
so not soft.
Yeah, that doesn't look comfortable, really. So Guinan is, if anything, even kind of more aggro about the Borg than Jean-Luc is, because Guinan's people were killed by the Borg. She
Yeah.
is one of the few survivors. So she's telling him, "What the fuck are you doing, Jean-Luc?
You know
bringing
as
a
much as
Borg onto
anybody."
this ship."
That's
Fuck
dangerous.
this Borg. Is
So
dangerous.
she's even like more on the wrong, or the more extreme side than he is.
But
Got
does
to prove her point. pun
She doesn't
intended.
know. Yes, here's she's
But can
going
I
to do a
just
little.
say for a moment,
She's going to do a little metaphor here.
her ass looks great in those pants. If that's actually her.
I mean, I think it is in some.
It seems like it is.
Yes.
It seems like
He's like, "Oh no, I hurt you." Ha! No, I tricked you.
Yeah.
She's like, "That's how the Borg do
got
it."
those,
Yeah,
she's
they
got
don't give
those
a shit.
Sister Act legs right now.
Those Borgs are. Yeah, that's actually probably true. Like
Sure.
she's been doing a lot of dancing lately.
She's been doing.
It looks
She's
good.
like, I don't
dancing, a
mind
lot of
getting
running
in
That's
from
got to be the
mom.
same year, right? Sister Act and this.
Yeah,
and it's 92
yeah.
or
Look at
91.
that height difference between
I know.
Jordy.
'Cause I
Yeah,
don't
Michael
think
Dorn's
of-
a tall boy.
I don't think of.
and I don't think
Geordi-
LeVar is a tall boy.
Really? I don't think of him as like particularly small. Though.
Well, Michael Dorn looks like he's about half a foot taller than him.
Maybe a whole.
So I've been playing like
Well,
old adventure games.
third of it's forehead,
And
so-
I was playing Gabriel Knight, which was like an old like New Orleans style like mystery, and I was blown away that Michael Dorn was like the character actor in
Oh,
it.
nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just like
This is
delighted.
pre Star Trek: The Next Generation, or
No,
post,
this
or
is
during?
it's 90. The game came out in 93.
Okay, so it's during the run of the show.
yeah. Just I don't know, but I never knew at the
He's
time.
got such a great voice.
Yeah,
He does have a great I could be a video game character
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of voice.
I was like, I didn't know he was in it, and I was like playing it just pure nostalgia because Mark Hamill and who is the main guy? The guy in Clue, Brain.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry is the main is Gabriel Knight. So it's
Yeah,
just like
so it was like just a cast of nerd favorites.
yes,
nerd icons.
yeah. So that's why I just wanted to play it for like just hearing the dialogue again, and so it was awesome. But then I was like, oh crap, Michael Dorn.
And you're like, hey, there's Michael Dorn.
I know. I was like, yes.
So who's this guy?
So, you mean in real life?
Yeah, the actor.
Who plays the Borg?
So his name is Jonathan Del Arco. I know him because he played the coroner on Major Crimes, which was like a TNT crime show that I weirdly watched all of. It started as The Closer with Kira Sedgwick.
Oh, I like
And
that
then it
one.
became Major Crimes with
Oh, I
Mary
didn't even
McDonnell
know about that.
from
Oh.
Battlestar
I used to
Galactica.
really like The Closer.
Kira
I
Sedgwick
liked it.
left the show. They bring in Mary McDonnell to take over, and they renamed the show because they were like, "Well, we can't call it The Closer because she left."
Closer's not on the show.
Closer's
gone.
yeah.
The new closer.
So they called it Major Crimes, and it ran for like another 8 years or
Oh,
something.
shit. I need to
That
get
show
caught up.
has run. That show had an insane long run for a show that I don't think was ever all that popular.
TNT and TBS as networks have had long ass shows that no one ever
Especially
watched.
TNT.
Yeah,
I mean,
Burn Notice.
The-
Who
or
watched Burn
fucking-
Notice?
what's that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I watched some
No,
Burn
that's
Notice.
Bruce Campbell.
Fun.
Yeah,
Okay, well, and then.
but I
okay,
think I
who watched
Netflixed it.
Rizzoli and Isles.
Psych.
Yeah.
Who
There's
watched
1,000.
Rizzoli and Isles?
What's the one where he's on a tropical island? Royal.
Oh,
Romaine.
that was
Romaine.
USA.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
was-
I mean,
It had
it's all
8
the same.
That was
seasons,
Characters
or
Welcome.
something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that was Characters Welcome. Come on.
Jesus.
Anyway, my point is
No, we are drama
Jonathan
or
Delarco,
whatever.
who's playing the Hugh.
Hugh.
He was the coroner. So whenever they had to go down and find out how the person died, he was on the show. And he was on it for years. So
Good.
that's the other thing besides being Hugh that I know him from.
I don't think I could pick him out of the lineup because of I'm only
So
known
much.
as Hugh.
Makeup.
Yeah, you've never seen him as not Hugh.
I've never seen him without that blue hue.
He has a good. He comes back in Picard.
He
season
also
one.
auditioned to play Wesley
Yeah. I saw that.
when they were casting the original pilot of this show
Interesting.
and didn't get it. But
He looks kind of old. Maybe
He's
that's
supposed
the
to be-
boy.
I
like
think
a
it's the
teenager,
makeup.
right?
Like he's not. Yeah, he's not
They
old.
call him a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when he's
adolescent.
standing against Worf, I realize, oh, yeah, he's not like
He's a
fully
little
grown.
guy.
Yeah.
He's not the most intimidating Borg.
No.
Well, if he was auditioning
helps.
for Wesley, he must have been pretty young.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
He might have been older than the specs, but still young, yeah.
So Beverly's having moral quandaries about this plan to infect and kill the Borg.
The doctor and her saying life is life.
That is essentially correct. She also kind of makes the point that because Jean-Luc's like, they're not human anymore, they're Borg. And she's like, well, you were a Borg and we fixed you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why are you willing to say that none of these other ones can be fixed? You know?
I'm going to go.
He's like, it was only for a few days. I only killed 40 million people.
I kind of hot take here. I kind of think they should have gone through with the plan.
You do?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know that he's like the big-eyed puppy of the
Yeah,
Borg.
he really is.
But honestly, the Borg as a sort of invasive
Yeah.
species in the universe, I feel like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, what you would do with medicine is you would try to trick the
Yeah.
cancer into thinking it was, you know, I don't know. It's like you have to think about the millions and
The
billions
long
and billions
view.
of other species that get wiped out by the Borg. That would be more my thought. So maybe I'm just
No, I mean that's the classic. This is a trolley
right.
problem
Yeah.
episode,
Right,
right?
there's no right
It's,
answer.
Do you kill the Borg or do you save Hugh or whatever?
I think the plan of like sending him back with the new individualism, I mean, it works to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to find out.
Yeah, that was a pretty big spoiler.
Well, that's what we do on this.
Hey
show.
man,
When does that
never
happen?
mind. Pretend you didn't hear that.
I didn't.
Yeah, that's true. You
He won't
probably
pretend.
did.
He wrote-
Were you into this? Are you into this episode? You kind of look like you're absorbing it over there.
I like all the hoses on the dude.
I like his eyepiece with its like weird, like
hologram.
magic mirror kind of. Like,
yeah, it looks
look
deep.
to
Like
it.
there's stuff inside of it.
Oh, the infinite.
That becomes a constant thing after this episode.
Yeah.
A lot of the Borg have
A lot of the
little
Borg have
hologram
that.
eyes.
Those little hologram eyes.
Hologram eyes.
Yeah, I need to write a song about the hologram eyes. I'm in love with the bull.
She's got hologrammy.
I'll have the Chat GPT make us a song.
There we
next
go.
Yeah.
Hologram-eyed girl.
Good. The more you ask it to do, the better. The
Yeah.
sooner we can get out of here.
Oh, we have several backup
Oh yeah, if we get bored, we can read the other intros.
because we generated many.
Do the Borg bone, or how do they make more Borg?
They assimilate.
Assimilate.
Oh.
They take babies and they turn them into Borgs.
Or adults. It doesn't matter. They're
like
gonna
shakers.
get assimilated.
They don't do it.
So there's no bone in.
I guess when you get to Voyager, I think there is a weird, there is a thing with Borg babies, but maybe I'm imagining
Maybe
that.
they
And
are.
anyway, it's
That was a
years from
great
now.
spin-off show. It was
Borg babies?
Yeah, Borg babies.
Borg babies.
And it had Bjorn Borg as the host. It was great. He was there for
Oh, the other thing I know about Jonathan Del Arco, this is sort of random, but he played the coroner on the show, and he's gay in real life, and so he asked the producers if his character could be gay on the show, and they said, yeah, sure. This is a guy who's in maybe 1 out of every 5 episodes when they need a scene in the coroner's
Yeah.
office. But they made his character gay on the show, and I thought that was nice that he asked, and they said yes. Sure, why not?
Thanks for helping write the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking though, maybe there's bone-in hoses around their areas, their private areas.
Hose boning.
They just connect hoses.
Yeah, so they just suck things out and push things in.
A lot of sucking and pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
That's
just
how I like to
exchanging
do it.
fluids.
Yeah.
You think they'd be able to do something a little bit more efficient, but those hoses.
I like the way it looks when he doesn't have it on too. I like how kind of
Yeah.
Oh, when he takes his eyepiece off.
yeah, when he looks kind of
Better than when Jordy takes
grody.
his shit off.
It's very
It's way
Phantom.
Yeah.
Very Phantom of the Opera.
It's a little grody.
Yeah.
Suppose they had magnets in there, and that's why it just kind of pops back on there.
Snapped on.
Yeah, that's
Or
great.
Velcro.
I mean, the costume work on this show is good because there are a lot of close-ups of Hugh in this
Yeah.
episode,
Yeah.
and he looks great.
It also is a phone holder.
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
Exactly. You remember
And
when
only a
everything
phone
had an
holder.
iPod docking station?
I love
an-
the docking station
Okay, during the
times.
docking station years, it was probably
The Sky Mall catalog docking stations.
man. The Sky Mall catalog was at its peak because they just basically remade all the shit that they had, but with an iPod docking station.
I
It
should
was
see if they have
Oh my God.
Sky
It
Mall
was like
catalogs on eBay.
your
I
kid's
just
little
want, a big-ass one.
crawler with an iPod docking station.
Yeah.
It was like everything
Hot
you
dog
know.
warmer,
Yeah.
iPod docking station.
Yeah, hamburger phone, iPod docking station. It
The
was
good old days.
Yeah. Anyway,
So what's going on here with Guinan? Let's see.
So she's now, Jordy and Beverly are now starting to become friendly with Hugh, the Borg.
That's
They've
right.
called him
Even
Hugh.
naming him Hugh.
He
was
asks
like-
them about their name. He asks them what
Yeah.
their numbers are because he's third of 5. And they're like, we don't have numbers. We have names. We're individuals. And he's like, does not compute. And they're like, no, really. And he's like, oh, I'm interested in that. Tell me more. And so then they're like, well, do you want to have a name? And he's like, I will be. No, he doesn't say I. He's like, we are Borg. And they're like, no, you are Hugh. Is basically what happens.
Do you think
So-
that's short for human?
No,
Like-
he's because he says you, and they're
They
like
say
you.
They say you.
And
It's kind of a stretch from
Yeah.
Jordy, if I'm being
yeah,
totally
I was
honest.
That's
like,
good.
that's a little bit weird.
You.
It is a little sweaty that he goes from you to Hugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, he's like you, and he's like, no,
Hugh.
no, Hugh,
Like it
Hugh,
matters.
pronounce the fucking H,
Like, why don't
you
just be like-
goddamn robot.
Why do they go in those
Riker had his foot on Data's thing just
Drink.
then.
Yeah,
Drink, everybody drink.
data
everybody
thing?
drink, yeah.
Why do the Borg go in groups of numbers like 3 of 5, 7
Because
of
you
9?
have to have something to call them. Like the writer answer is because we gotta call them something.
And it's cool. It makes them sound like machine.
Right, it's a machiney vibe. It's a
Or
collect.
do you
I
think-
read that 3 of 5 is the only time they use that kind of nomenclature.
Instead
All
of
the other
3
time,
of
it's
5.
numerical, right? Every other time it's 7 of 9 or 4 of. They
It's
don't.
not 7th of 9.
Yeah.
How high do you
Didn't
think
your
they go?
girlfriend in college call you 3 of 10? Oh, that was just a rating for you, right?
Wow.
God damn! What did I do?
I woke up and chose violence.
Jesus
I
Christ.
was just. I
I'm
wanted
just
to use.
sitting here. Fuck.
I just wanted to use that
That
joke.
was
God.
hilarious.
I feel like
Damn.
right up until now, you've just been deciding who you were going to go after.
I was gonna do it on
And you
myself.
landed
but
on Sean.
Sean, let me.
I feel like I
into
dodged
it.
a bullet. My heart is pounding.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank God he picked Sean. It's like when your bully decides to bully someone else.
Oh, great! Not me this time.
That's Sean's reward for participation and vulnerability. It's like
Yeah.
3 of 10.
Guinan's talking to the
I
Borg
was
right
gonna
now.
do 2 of 10. Then rose it up.
Well, thank you for the
Wow,
point.
this is a really powerful episode, and this is what we've decided to just be like. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of
Let's
find
just-
Guinan is like so aggro in this episode. It's such a departure from her.
Changes
Yeah.
though a little bit.
Well,
she does.
she's got 2 big like things
She's gotta
that
work
trigger
through her
her.
shit.
She's got beef.
She's got the
Yeah.
2 things she has beef with are the Borg and Q.
Yeah.
And anytime that's the subject, we get a very different guy.
Yeah, she's normally like full of like sagely wisdom.
Right,
of
she's
patience
the most
and-
chill person in the world.
Yeah, I know. You just-
Except Borgs and Q.
It gets personal.
It gets personal with her.
Looks kind of like a sunflower in there. A little eyepiece.
This is, by the way, some great acting that we're not really paying attention to, but she is terrific in that scene. She goes in expecting to be like,
Yeah.
because Geordi gets to her. Geordi's like, I don't know, he seems kind of nice.
Go talk to her.
And Geordi's and Whoopi's like, oh, I don't want to fucking talk to him. What am I going to talk to him
Yeah.
about? And he's like, well, then just listen. So she does.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Horses are into.
Jordy actually.
Jordy really like kind of negs her. He's like, just listen, man.
Yeah. I mean, Jordy gets to be like a little bit different than passive Jordy in this. Which
Well, Jordy likes robots, so it kind of makes sense, right? Jordy's best friend is Data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that Jordy would be one of the first people to be like, I recognize you as a like sentient thing, the same way that I recognize Data as a sentient thing.
do you think Picard knows that he has a full size Locutus plushie that he sleeps with every night, or is that? I mean, he knows everybody who makes one, right?
I mean, the Borg guy does have a good jawline.
Even with the holes in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
That hose pumps up that jawline.
That's what's making it like that.
It's normally like a British royalty jawline, and then it's like that thing just turns
He
into.
turns on the gas. and
Yeah, it's American-
Expands it.
He goes all the way to American Cowboy.
You go to Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, exactly.
Different settings.
So it's like you're saying the Borg will have their abs on the outside of their outfit.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like they really are very superficial in a lot of ways. They gotta have those perfect abs.
Yeah, like they do like the Batman style. Where
Guys,
you put
did you
the
guys-
abs into the
Did
costume?
you guys see the photos of the new group that is going to to the moon? Like they have a 4-shot.
the new suits or whatever.
No, just the group, the astronaut group. They are the most photogenic, big-chinned superstar chads of like I feel.
Oh, here we go.
is what he looks like now.
Oh, I thought that was the guy going to the moon.
No.
the Borg.
you.
Yeah,
No,
I
no.
recognize
That's what he
him.
looks like
But he-
without the
With the
Borg
yeah,
shit on
he's a
him.
good-looking guy.
Yeah.
I love
cutie.
how in
Nice
this
hair.
scene, Jordy introduces the idea that friendship to Hugh, and then Hugh's like, "Does that mean we're friends?" And then I figured in this next scene, when they cut to him talking to Picard, his first line was to be like, "So we're best friends now. Sorry, Data."
Yeah.
Sorry,
My
Data.
best friend Borg.
I only have room for one best robot friend.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that scene from Step Brothers where they're like, "Are we best friends now?" Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did we just become best friends?
Data, do you have hoses or like a hose option you can
Could you put
explore
some
for me?
I think Data does have a hose option. We
yeah.
know he does.
Yeah.
He's fully
They
functional.
told us he's
and
fully functional way back in the
programmed
beginning.
in
Yeah.
Many.
He's like, but they put the hoses inside. I'm like, a PC build with like good cord management.
Meanwhile, it's almost like compassion spreads through the ship in this episode because it starts with Geordi and
Like a
Beverly,
virus.
and like a virus, Whoopi becomes compassionate, and then eventually it gets all the way to Jean-Luc. Yeah,
I think it's like I want to give Crusher a little bit of the
me
credit.
too.
She gets the credit for being like right off the bat.
She's the first one.
So I'm going to help him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
That's what I'm
classic
here for.
Starfleet
I'm a doctor.
Bones would have done the same thing. Bones would have
know.
said, "Damn it, Jeremy, it's a person."
He would have had mint julep first, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have done it. I mean, he still would have died, but he would have tried.
Yeah.
Damn it, Jim! I'm not a Borg doctor.
Yeah. I'm not a tubologist.
You guys remember how many times McCoy killed people on that show? We used to joke about it back on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like he felt like he was a terrible doctor.
Yeah.
You never showed him curing anybody.
No.
That felt like so many years ago.
Let's talk about
Picard-
the
That was
probe,
many
guys.
years ago.
Picard relax.
Okay, he's wearing. Stan and I watched this the other
Double
night,
double
and
deep
we
V.
started
Yeah.
cracking up
He
when we
likes
saw
those
this.
V's, man.
The deep V and the short
Yeah.
combo.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
She's like,
Oh,
you
God.
look like you're doing something.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
But it looks like you wanted some privacy.
I know.
She definitely gives him like a once over, like
Yeah.
what is going on right here?
Yes.
You can see her. Stan and I rewound and watched that moment
Where her
4
eye goes all
times.
the way down the V.
They were like, let's not show you Whoopi what Stuart's wearing. You know what I mean? Let's just let it.
Right,
like,
let's give it a spontaneous reaction
Yeah.
from Whoopi.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what you wear.
I mean, he looks amazing.
I know.
It's also, but just hilarious.
Yeah.
She looks amazing too.
I sort of wish he would captain with that outfit.
That's Guinan just said, Whoopi just gave my favorite line reading that she gives in this episode. She says, his name is Hugh and he's lonely. And it's like, oh, that's really all you need to know,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's the dilemma in a
Yeah.
nutshell. And the way she says it is so good.
Yeah.
She's great in this scene. She's giving him the talk. She's like, you and I both hate them, but I don't think we can do this.
Yeah.
And he's saying to her, you just told me.
you were like pissed that I brought the damn thing on board.
Yeah.
Now you're being sympathetic toward it.
Yeah.
People can change.
It's hard to talk during this because it's so good that I just
Yeah.
kind of want to watch
Wanna
the
tune
two of
in,
them
yeah.
act with each other. They have such
Oh,
amazing
his face the
chemistry.
whole time is just.
Oh, and then he gets to do his Patrick Stewarty thing where he gets to shout.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Yeah. But she gets to just like a shard of firmer metal, like steel. Just like let it cast against her.
Yeah.
She's so placid and like I don't know, her face is like perfect.
And I feel like once she like had the breakthrough, she's like, oh well, now I just have to tell Jean-Luc what to do. I'm just gonna go up to his office and tell him what to do. Because she's calm now, you know. She's back to being Guinan. She's not all
She's not all aggro about
right.
it.
Philippe, that was almost like a Japanese poem, what you just said.
A shard of steel.
Yeah, that was good.
I didn't really understand the point you were making,
trying
but
to
it
say
sounded
that
great.
How firm, but
Yeah.
yeah.
She tempered him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this episode is just like the same thing happens over and over again. Hugh talks to Geordi and Beverly, wins them over.
Yeah.
Hugh talks to Guy,
Here's what I don't
wins
understand.
them over.
Is Picard so busy he doesn't have the time to go to the prison cell? He has to have
Right.
Hugh beamed into his office.
Well, I think
I think they must
I mean-
have just thought it was going to look a lot better in here than it would in the
Plus he
in the
gets to look
jail
at the
cell
fish,
set.
right?
Well, I think because he wanted it to be private, so he could like take the tactic of like talking
Pretending
to
to be
him.
like-
Oh, that's the right answer.
And I-
Yeah,
of
but
course.
that look kind of makes you think that
This
he
is an
didn't
awesome
have
scene
that
because
tactic
of
in
that.
mind. Because he calls him Locutus, and then he kind of goes, huh? And then
That moment when he calls him Locutus and you realize that really like it gives you chills.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, they remember him.
Yeah.
You know?
That's like a special nerd thing.
It's real nerdy.
And then his response to it.
But
too.
it's real nerdy, but in like just a chilling kind of way. Like, oh, they know who he was. But you're right. It does kind of seem like he seems surprised when he says that.
Yeah.
But I love that explanation because he's like, he goes full Locutus on poor Hugh.
immediately.
Yeah. If it is that, yeah, it's like Locutus wouldn't come to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it could have just been like, we don't
Or
want...
he doesn't want to do this in front of anybody else on the Enterprise who might see it.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Freak out about it.
Is the captain going a little Borgy here?
He's gone full Borgy. He's gone Locutus of Borg.
And Hugh is fighting him. He's like, no.
Right. He's telling him, so he's going, I am Locutus. You will do what I say. We will assimilate the humans. And Hugh is like, no, resistance is not futile.
They don't want to be assimilated, and resistance, they will fight us.
Geordi.
And Geordi's my
Jean-Luc
friend.
says resistance is futile, and Hugh says resistance is not futile. Oh, the fish is in this episode. We get a close-up of the fish this week.
And he gets all freaked out. Don't kill my friend.
Right. Geordi must not die. All robots feel this way.
Well, he is a dragon after all.
He's the best friend of robots everywhere.
If only he can find a woman that feels towards him like robots feels towards him.
Right. If only he could create a woman, perhaps in the holodeck.
Oh, wait, he tried that.
We did that.
Aren't there?
It did not work
It
out.
didn't work out.
Aren't there female?
He
Borg?
has kids on the new
There are.
show, so I don't know who the
Borg.
mother is.
The
All right.
queen is the
daughter
Borg.
is his real daughter, right?
One of them is. Yeah, he
Yeah,
has
yeah.
2 on the show.
Yeah.
I think one of them is his real
Why
daughter.
didn't Geordi get with a female Borg?
I mean, they're not around. They're all assimilated.
They wanted to assimilate him through his penis.
Wow. Good one. You know, Min comes in after being away for a while.
Things just get loose.
Things get real loose, real
Really brings
fast.
the good weed, you know?
We're used to having to stand in for men, and it's just not the same.
It is.
So now Jean-Luc has been won over, and now they're going to have a classic sit around the table conversation. Jean-Luc is rethinking his plans. He's like, we can't do this. So Philippe, you're like, he should do it anyway.
I mean, I think,
Or at least you understand
I definitely understand. I think
I understand it too, but would you really do it? Like, you're Jean-Luc.
Knowing
do you
what
do it?
having the conversation
After
with
Whoopi
you.
Goldberg just called you an asshole if you did it?
I think honestly, like, I think the more responsible thing to do would be to do it. If you were technically at, if the Federation was technically at war with the Borg, and I felt like this was like a survival requirement.
Yeah. So this
I think
is
it
a
would
sort
be-
of utilitarian needs of the many.
I think also like I mean
Spock would probably agree with you. It's the Vulcan answer.
Yeah, I mean, the humanist answer is all like, all life is precious and everything can be redeemed. But I think if you don't know the end, if you pretend like you couldn't see the end outcome.
Well, I'm saying he's making the decision right now, right? So he doesn't know the end yet.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Philippe, but I do think that before that happens, that they should allow Geordi and Hugh to have a night of
To have a nice of hose
A night
exchanges.
a night of adult hugging and kissing.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that you could learn a lot from that.
I think once the Borg got
They
wind
give
of that,
Hugh the option, right? Doesn't he say? Doesn't Jean-Luc say you can stay?
Yep.
We'll give you asylum if you don't want to go back.
And he says, that'll be dangerous for you, so I'm putting me back.
Oh,
in the
this is
collective.
where they're going to have this conversation right now. There's the fish.
yeah, the fish got a real good.
Can anybody remember the fish's name?
Livingston.
Yeah, Livingston.
That's right. I couldn't remember.
Oh, that's really good, Sean.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
So Jean-Luc is now treating Hugh as an individual with agency and giving him the choice to
7
decide
minutes
what to
in
do.
heaven with Geordi.
Or
Or reassimilation with the Borg.
And he's like, I'll take the Borg.
Yeah.
I've seen this guy's creepy holodeck
Yeah.
programs.
already
I
has
don't want
a
anything to
shrine
do with
to
putting my
me.
tubes in his tubes.
Yeah.
Did you know his visor has a no clothes filter?
Yeah.
I do. And it's on all the time, you guys.
You just look at his Insta.
I think Jordy's
Not. I know we love to bag on Geordi. You know who's fucking crushing Star Trek Picard is LeVar Burton.
Awesome.
The Geordi is doing a great job over on Star Trek Picard.
I mean,
Am I the only person watching
You
it?
are. I haven't gotten to it.
yeah, but yeah, I'm still in the middle of season 2.
This season has been a real pleasure. It's not. I don't know that I would call it a good television show, but it sure is enjoyable.
Great
to
cast,
watch.
obviously.
And they're all having a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's good.
Well, they all have such good chemistry with each other.
How can it be good if it's not?
It narratively, the plot has a lot of like, huh? What the fuck is that? kind of moments in it, which has been true of Picard since the very
they
beginning.
would.
Do you remember, Min, us describing to you the plot of Picard season 1? It has not gotten any less confusing as it has gone on.
And plotty.
And this season, they just decided, you know what? Who cares? All they wanted, all the audience wanted all along was another season of Star Trek The Next Generation.
To see
So
all
let's
these-
just bring them all back. So now they're all on the show together, and it's wonderful. It is not particularly a very good story because
They just whatever they have to
It's
do
just
to
like a reunion,
Yeah.
basically.
they just whatever they have to do to get.
there is
everybody-
a story. I mean, it's about Picard's, son with Beverly, but that part's kind of boring. The fun part is when it's just all the old people running around doing stuff. The stuff about the next generation, which I think is what they're trying to set up, is not interesting.
Is Picard's son with Beverly? Is he hot?
Yes,
Yeah. He's Jimmy from Downton Abbey.
he is. That's right. He is.
Yeah.
That's
he was
exactly
also
right.
in the newest season
about
of
that.
You.
He was cute on Downton Abbey.
You
too.
mean Hugh?
Not you. Hugh.
You goddamn ignoramus.
Pronounce the huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Borg is even shorter than Beverly.
I mean,
Yeah.
man, the crunches they got to do to make sure that each one of their abs
So they-
fits into that, vacuum.
That form-fitting.
Yeah. Plasticell. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, the docking stations that they stand in, it's one of those like muscle workers.
Yeah. Yeah, one of
Constantly
constantly
flexing all their muscles.
vibrating.
He uses electrical shocks.
I like to think they go to the
ab
gym
to-
all the time. I just think they actually have a gym and they're really brosifs.
when they're
and
not assimilating,
yeah.
they're in the gym.
They're just doing crunches. Like, they don't even do other stuff. It's just
Assimilate
like,
those weights, bro.
Yeah. Yo.
I think it's crazy to think that we have not seen the Borg in a season and a half, right? Almost 2 full seasons
Yeah.
since the start of season 4.
Dude,
Because
if
I
I
feel
were-
like they loom so large in the story, and
Yeah.
they talk about them all the time. But
Dude.
it's been almost 2 seasons since
That's
they
why
did a
I know
Borg
I'm
episode.
not a good writer, because if I was on that show this season, I'd be like pitching Borg every
Like,
freaking week.
it should be Star Trek Borg.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, let's do a Borg this, and like the Borg go to Vegas, and the Borg do this, and
I think they realize that it's a problem of diminishing returns with the Borg, because once you set them up as an unstoppable threat and then you stop them the first time, you have to come up with increasingly difficult problems that they're solving, which seems like it would be hard to do. Which is why it's better that this is not about really the Borg. It's about
It's like
a
the
Borg.
Pringles Borg.
And it's really about Jean
When that
Luc.
first Borg came in, I was like,
goes a little
why does
round.
he have an old school carnival barker mustache?
Yeah.
Do you think there are Borg that are just a little portly, a little too?
no, man, they all got
Look at
abs.
them, they all got the ripped abs.
But only if you get super ribs do you get like your vacuum sealed front armor to be, commemorate the shape of your abs.
So you're saying like once they take off the outfits, it's just the same
Yeah,
flesh. underneath.
exactly. 100%. Those are 100% form fitted
he
to their
took that Borg's penis.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't need it.
There's a shortage on the ship.
There's that brain again.
There it is.
What about their huge cod pieces then?
Yeah.
What about them?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Let's talk about them.
What more do you want to know?
I mean, that's exactly the minimum amount of space.
Oh,
they
there
need.
it is. Okay, so
He
right
looked.
as they're beaming out, Hugh looks over at Geordi. So we kind of skipped over this part, but instead of infecting them with the virus, they decided to, and instead of wiping Hugh's memories so that he wouldn't remember any of it, they decided to leave him as he was because he had sort of, woken up, for lack of a better
So they're
phrase.
hoping like his individual.
So they're like, well, he's an individual now.
And he'll
Maybe
spread
if we put him back into the collective, rather than them reassimilating him, maybe his like sense of self will like infect the rest of the Borg. So rather than like killing them, we're just gonna try and wake them up. That's basically the plan.
A gentler.
Here's a small problem with this.
Yeah.
Everybody that they assimilate already has a sense of self-identity and individuality, but it's never a problem of getting rid of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's like they encounter it every day when they are, as we're like sucking your brain matter out and turning you into slaves. We're like, we marvel at your individuality.
Sure. No, I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I just don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree.
I mean, I still like it's still a great episode.
I mean, I still like it. Yeah, me too.
I think the metaphor is so good that it doesn't.
Yes,
The logistics of it, Borg-wise, don't bother me.
I
at
would
all.
be ashamed if I was the one that brought it up, but fortunately it wasn't.
It sounded like a you comment, actually.
Yeah.
That sounded like
I restrained myself, but I did.
the harder the sci-fi, the better.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they should have uploaded "Express Yourself" into his
That's
brain,
that's
and that would have been the best way.
They could have called this episode "Earworm" and just had it be about like getting a song stuck in your head that causes you to malfunction.
I know. My brain is
We could
analyzing
put
that
the
shape.
Spin Doctor's two princes into your brain and take down the entire Borg.
Oh my God.
I think that episode is great.
Yep.
Min,
Yeah.
did you enjoy hearing about it and kind of watching it?
I like the hoses, and I like thinking about what could happen with the hoses.
Pro hose, Min is pro hose.
Yes, we've missed you.
Yeah, yeah.
Min is hose
It's
before
that kind
bros.
of insightful commentary that's been lacking around here. I liked the part with the hoses and where they could or could not go.
Yeah, I saw you really take a deep mind journey there for a few minutes when you first saw the hoses.
I think Geordi.
What was the rest of it about? I don't know. I was really focused on the whole hose situation.
How many hoses had you imagined in you at that point?
12 at least.
Jeez, that's all his hoses.
I think Geordi got
lot of
tired
hoses.
of Data because Data's too human looking, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have enough like hardware. Whereas that Borg, he's just all hardware.
Yeah.
Well, Data's just the hardware's all inside.
Yeah. Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
Hugh's much more flashy. He puts his hoses on the outside.
Yeah, he's like water cooled PC with RGB and all these kids.
You know, he's
there.
like men who wear Speedos.
Yeah.
They just,
May,
as opposed
how did
to
you
a,
feel
to
about that? I'm moving away from whatever's happening over there.
I mean, I thought it was a great episode. Very moral discussion was great. But when I do really think about it, I'm like, damn, those are some good hoes.
No, you're on the hoses too. All right.
Good hoes.
So what did Aaron think about it? What did she think about the
Aaron,
hoses?
you brought us into this mess. Would you like to take us out?
Take us out.
By telling us what you thought of the episode overall?
She's got something prepared.
Oh, this is the jet. This is going to be this again?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Resistance is Futile podcast, where we analyze every episode of Star Trek The Next Generation from the perspective of the Borg. I'm your host, Borg number 42, and today we're diving into Borg. As Borg, we love assimilating new life forms and technology, but we have to admit, when it comes to the Enterprise crew, they're a tough nut to crack. In this episode, we'll be following the journey of Hugh, the Borg drone, who learns about individuality and becomes a traitor to our collective. But hey, At least he got to meet Guinan, who was always serving up the sass with her drinks. So sit back, relax, and let's ponder the deep philosophical questions this episode raises. Like, can a Borg be truly free? Is the Enterprise crew just really good at breaking down our programming? And seriously, who spiked Guinan's drink with so much sass? Let's find out together on Resistance is Futile.
Yeah.
I'm Aaron.
Did you type Star Trek podcast hosted by the Borg of the episode I Borg? Because that seems like what you would get if you typed
I had
that.
my secretary run it for me. So what did she do?
I did exactly what I needed to do.
Served up that sass.
I said, what would it
That
be
was
like
really good.
if a Borg hosted this episode and it was on a podcast? And
Min did a bunch of we did a bunch of AI art for the
Sure.
Cthulhu for the Call of Cthulhu
Some
book.
good art there.
It's just funny because I had never really like played around with the AI art stuff, and it's just funny when you get three-headed people. And,
it's great. It's great.
You type
disturbing
lesbian
things out there.
dildo wall into that thing, and you get some weird pictures.
Yeah, it's hard. Like what it takes in and decides is the most important thing, and decides
Runs with it.
It runs with it. So yeah.
Well, we're done.
Yep. Close it up.
Awesome.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here on
Especially
my birthday.
you, Minnie.
Thank you, Min.
Thank you for coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, the duct
Happy
tape helps.
birthday, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Matt.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Happy
It'll be my
Earth
birthday
Day,
next
Earth.
week again.
Oh yeah. Earth Day and birthday.
Oh, you know who else's birthday it is?
William Shakespeare and Jack Nicholson.
George Takei.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't know that one.
And the
Yeah,
Earth.
guys.
Thank you very much for listening. You can email us at warpedthepodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at warpedtrek, on Insta and Facebook at warpedthepodcast, and patreon.com/warped to become a patron and get access to bonus material. We teased some bonus material this week. I saw.
There's some bonus material on the main feed.
It's like
Here-
boner
Like what that
Nice.
sounds like, there's probably more. And until then, what's your name?
You?
Oh. 42. I'm number 42. Of
I thought you were going to say 4th of like 6 or whatever. Like a Borgie.
4 of 20.
Yeah, Borg 42 was
I was Borg number 42 according to my
the chat
To the
GBT.
chat.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I'm Sean.
I'm Matt.
Jake?
Philippe.
Minwin.
Am I?
Thank you for listening and good night.